Hey guys, Old Guy Gaming here, back again with another MTG Arena video, and tonight we're going to be covering Mono Blue Tempo. We are done with all the starter decks. We have played them, we've had some fun. There are some good decks in there that I think we can go back and revisit and kind of tweak and try those, and I think I'm going to try that out. But I wanted to get more into some of the competitive, more of the constructed decks that actually win a ton of games on Arena. So one of the easiest questions I get asked most is, which deck should I build first when playing Arena? Which one's going to get me the most wins? Which one's going to be the most competitive for the cheapest price? Now, by cheap, we're not talking about dollar value, obviously, because you can't buy singles in Arena based on the way that the economy is structured in Arena. So the reason why this deck is so valued, at least in Arena, is because it's super easy to put together. It's comprised of mostly common and uncommon cards. There are 4 rares total in the base build. There are some other ones to get into of maybe 4 or 5, maybe take it up to 8 rares total, but the rest are common and uncommon cards. And the way that the Arena economy works, you're going to have a ton of common and uncommon wild cards just floating around out there that you can put this deck together easily, cheaply, quote unquote, in the Arena economy and grind out a ton of wins. So, not to mention the fact, of course, that in the Guilds of Ravnica Pro Tour, this deck happened to go 10-0 and is really sought after. It is one of the more top-end decks in Arena today, and easy to put together. So let's kind of get into it. The cards, again, getting into the uncommon Curious Obsession, this is kind of the meat of the deck. This is where your card advantage really comes in. You'll have some unblockable creatures, you'll have flying creatures in there, and you're going to toss this down to get card advantage. The +1/+1 counter on it is kind of an added bonus. You don't really need it. Really what you're looking for is the card advantage that comes out of being able to hit a player, get a card. Hit a player, get a card. And then everything else in this deck is based around keeping that creature alive until you win. So this is a very different playstyle, at least than what I'm used to. I'm a very aggro-oriented player, so this one is one where you need to take your time. If you've got counter spells or creatures in your hand, hold them back. Keep the mana open so that you can counter spells that are trying to kill those creatures. Things like Dive Down, for example, common card from Ixalan, gets +3/+0, but the main key on this one is it gains hexproof until end of turn. So whatever they're trying to do to your creature, you can stop. Mist-Cloaked Herald is normally going to be the creature that's going to be the ire of your opponent because it's unblockable. It's a 1/1 for 1 mana, and it's going to have Curious Obsession on it normally by turn 2, and since it's unblockable, you have no reason not to attack with it. So when you have the combination between this card and Curious Obsession, it becomes, it puts them on a clock, but then of course you're just gaining more and more and more cards. Opt is just a simple matter of it's empty space inside the deck, to be honest with you, but it does allow you to continue to get card advantage. Siren Stormtamer is another 1/1 flyer. You can put Curious Obsession on this if they don't have any flyers in the deck. It can kind of work out. And it does have a pseudo counter in it. If you sack it, you can prevent any triggers going off on either creatures, spells, things like that. So it is sort of a counter spell in and of itself. Charter Course, again, another card advantage card that goes in. I have to point out ahead of time that this is kind of my own twist on it. It has a lot of the same cards. I just don't do a lot of the Warkite Marauders that are going to be in the more bigger version. We'll show that in a later video, probably the next video after this, where it gets a little bit bigger and we show the more expensive cards in the set. But so I run 2 Charter Course. This again gives you the ability to draw a card, and since you're always going to be attacking with your Mist-Cloaked Heralds, who are always going to have Curious Obsession, and you're always going to not have to discard a card. Merfolk Trickster, this is one of the ones you want to kind of keep in the back pocket, keep it in your hand until this absolutely necessary. It can be an emergency blocker because it has flash, and then of course it taps an opponent creature. So if there's a big creature that's attacking you don't want to be attacked by, boom, not only can you throw it on the 2/2 blocker, but then you can also tap that creature before it comes in. One of the problems that I've always had with this deck is I felt that it didn't have enough counters to really protect me as much, so I've added 4 cancels. Again, common card from M19, counters target spell, and we have 4 Wizard's Retorts. Now, you have enough Wizards in here that this is basically a 2-mana counter spell, but for all intents and purposes, there's 8 counter spells sitting on top of that. And of course, your heavy hitter. These are where the rares come in, and that is the Tempest Djinn. Has +1/+0 for each island that you control, as it's a mono blue deck. Every island you put down just makes him bigger and bigger and bigger. Some of the strategies I've heard is that you really want to kind of hold off until you have 2 in play before you really cast both, so that they can really kind of get out there and do some fighting. I tend to throw them down early. If I have the counters and I have the abilities to protect my creatures in my hand, I see no reason for tossing down you got to figure at minimum he's going to be a 3/4 flyer, and he's just going to get bigger. See no reason why not to toss him down early, but we'll see if I'm right or wrong here in a minute. Wizard's Retort, we caught it, another counterspell. Sleep is just another one of those abilities to be able to, if your opponent is getting way too wide on you and you want to be able to get in for those final couple pieces of damage to wipe out the opponent, tap all of his creatures. They can untap next turn. That gives you 2 turns to go in and get the final kills. And Tempest Caller is another, in my opinion, it's another sleep spell. It does exactly the same thing, although it doesn't hold off on the whole turn, but when it comes into play, it taps all the creatures. So again, another means of tapping all the creatures so that they can't attack you, and then just rolling through. And 20 islands. So let's go ahead and give the deck a try. So we're going to do this in 2 phases. This video, we're going to do this version. We're just going to do ladder matches. In the next video, we're going to tweak it a little bit more, get a few more of the rare cards in there, and try it out in constructed. So this is kind of a mono tempo part 1 for you. So let's go ahead and play some ladder matches, shall we? So one of the difficulties I have most with this deck, because I'm an aggressive aggro player, is the fact that I tend to play it too fast. And that is not how this deck plays. This deck is designed to play slow and react. It's not a very... Alright, so what do we have? We have a dive down, we have a trickster. We have no turn 1 play, though. But we do have 3 islands. Let's give this a shot and see what happens. Because worst case scenario, we do got the trickster. We've got 2 now. And we shall have this. I do love having the Djinn in my opening hand. Again, I think we're just going to wait. We've got counterspells now sitting in our hand. Just going to wait. There's nothing, no rush. Our opponent is also waiting. So I'm going to pass this turn, and if it gets to the end of his turn, I will toss down the trickster just to put some pressure on him. So I'm going to put a stop on his final turn. We're at my turn. I'm going to go ahead and do a Merfolk Trickster. Let's see if he's got a counter for it. He does not. So our turn. I think I'm going to save Opt for the end. I've got Counterspell sitting in hand. I say we're going to do some damage. Two away, it looks like. Frascas. No, thank you. Probably should have done dive down now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, I should have done the Thought Erasure. And that's the reason why I should have done dive down. Sure. That was a mistake. I should have done dive down so that I had the mana to cast the counter spell on Thought Erasure. That's going to cost me. Because he's going to take the Djinn. The Djinn's the right answer on this one. That's disappointing. Had the right card in my hand to prevent that from... Ooh! Ooh, interesting. He let the Tempest Caller go. Interesting. So, I'm going to go ahead and attack first, and then I'm going to cast the Djinn on this turn if he doesn't do anything. Nothing? No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to keep my mana open. Right now the pressure's on him. It's going to end combat. I'm going to toss the other Trickster down. It gets through. No Curious Obsession. That's actually kind of hurting us. So now I'm kind of okay doing the Tempest Djinn because I have the 2 mana for a counter if something comes across that I don't like. Damage is going to go through. And we'll cast the Djinn. Djinn got through. He is in some trouble. Revitalize. I'm actually okay him getting the ice. No thank you. Ritual of Soot. No thank you. Similar situation. I think I'm going to hold off, punch him in the face, and then cast the second Djinn. He's drawing cards. And it's a win! Mono Blue Tempo takes its first win. Even though I misplayed, I think, twice, as I sat down and thought about it, since I had a cancel in my hand and not a Wizard's Retort, I did not have the mana to counter anything that came down. So if he had something like, I don't know, another Ritual of Soot, for example, that would have been a problem. But that did not happen. Let's go ahead and play, let's go play one more. Probably 2. Vextor. Cool name. I go first. I've got a Curious Obsession. I do have a Siren Stormtamer and a couple of Wizard's Retorts. I like this. While I only have 2 mana, this could still work out in our favor. So the question is, when do we drop the Stormtamer? I'm going to wait till next turn. I want to have the mana free. I wonder if this is Red Burn. That could be fun. No, we're just going to wait. I want to keep that dive down in case he decides to shock it, lightning bolt it, something. Like I said. Another mana would be perfect. Because I could put Curious Obsession down on him, and then I have the 2 mana to Wizard Retort any burn spells he has coming through. In fact, the next 3 spells that he tries to cast on that Stormtamer I can take down. Like that Lightning Strike. And now he's just burning all of his burn spells on me. And I've got card advantage and I've got card draws coming. Could do with a little less mana. And there's a counter spell. Ah, dang. That's what I should have waited for. Ah, he baited me. Good call. Good call. I will drop that down. I'll keep the Retort, and I'm just going to keep the pressure on. I have no reason for him not to swing in, because in worst case scenario, I'm still getting the card advantage. I mean, nothing happens here, but another Curious Obsession on the Mist would be great. Oh, it doesn't do damage, that's right. It has to do damage for that to work. Lightning Strike. Let that resolve. No, I'll pop this. All the counter spells. All of them. I do need to keep attacking in order to keep Curious Obsession up. So now I have 2 counterspells sitting in my hand, and I have the mana to cast him, and he's got nothing. Now the Djinn comes out. And I'm going to continue to attack. I do only have the 1 counterspell, though. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to let him draw cards, because it's only till end of turn. And he's thinking. He can't decide what he wants to do. Another Mist-Cloaked Herald. I'm going to hold off on that. I have no reason to cast that right now. We'll swing in. He'll block there, and he's going to take 6. I'm going to hold up these counter spells. And I'm waiting. And we're still waiting. I have 5 mana free. Of course I have counterspells. And he needs an answer for that Djinn now. I think he's debating scooping, to be honest with you. Or he's questioning his life decisions. One or the other. Gravimetric Punch. No thank you. And he scoops! This is why control decks are such a menace. This is also the reason why I put the cancels in the deck. Like, I know the 10-0 deck doesn't only has the 4 Wizard's Retorts and a couple, like a negate and a couple of other things. I'm not that good of a player. I'm not gonna lie. I rely on those counterspells to keep my creatures alive. Would have been much nicer to get the Curious Obsession Mist-Cloaked Herald on the same hand. I haven't had that yet. That's basically just winner all day. Mat 238, because 237 mats were already taken. Merfolk Trickster. Not liking the lack of counterspells in my hand. I'm not. But let's see how this goes. Go ahead and drop that. Probably should have waited a turn. But he's black-blue, which means... Oh! He's 4 color at minimum here? Is he playing 5 colors? This should be interesting. He's charting her course. Or he's opting, I'm sorry. Drop the land. I'm going to swing in. If he doesn't do anything at the end of his turn, I'll put the Merfolk Tricksters on. Or, no, I think I'll... No, Trickster's at the end of his turn if nothing happens. So, put a marker on his turn. Chromatic Lantern. Interesting. Yeah, he must be genuinely playing a 5-color deck. This should be really interesting. I'm looking forward to this. End of combat. I'll go ahead and put the Trickster up. He's tapped down. And he has no blockers. There's the Herald. Really wishing I had more counterspells, so I hate to do it, but I am going to chart a course here. Probably should have done that before. I don't need the other Stormtamer, but I do like the cancel in my hand. Should have done that after. Should have done that in the second main phase. The mistakes made by old people who forget things. Don't get old, kids. Don't get old. I love that they reprinted this in Guilds of Ravnica. Such a cool card. No charter, no Curious Obsession, which is actually really disappointing. Guilds of Ravnica. Tap any number. Interesting. Okay. I think the problem is, like, he's playing for something really, really big, I'm sure. And I've got cancel sitting in my hand. Yeah, no, I'm going to hold up cancel. Well, let's hit him. I don't think he's going to do anything this turn. He doesn't have anything really he can do. And then I'm going to cast him the Mist-Cloaked Herald, and then end, and then I'm just going to hold my cancel, because he's waiting to play something big. That's what he's got all this mana sitting out there for. Probably a Nicol Bolas, big Planeswalker, something like that. He's definitely got the draw mechanic going on. I'll take it. Another Mist-Cloaked Herald and Tempest Djinn. Oh, let's hit him with what we got. Settle? Oh, hell no. This is also the reason why I've got creatures in my hand. Well, he can draw all he wants. Cleansing Nova. Very nice. He's really anti-creature. Alright, well, we got a cancel sitting out. I need to be able to hold the Djinn up with my ability to... So I'm just going to pass. And when we get to the end of his turn, I'm going to cast the Merfolk Trickster. Patience. That is the key to this deck. Patience. I need to learn it. Probably went too big whenever I cast all those creatures out. And he's got a great draw mechanic, I'm not going to lie. So he is trying to pull something. What? I don't know. And now he's going to discard a bunch of cards. He is tapped down. Yeah, if he doesn't do anything else this turn, I'm definitely going to hit him with the Trickster. Drop the Trickster. Curious Obsession. I've got 4 of them in the deck. I've not seen any of them. It's the end of his turn. What other triggers could he have to... When he said end turn, what else could there be? Oh, he has to discard. I think I'm going to hold off opt until his turn. Go in for some damage. Or do another thing at the end of his turn, or just do an opt. What I need here is some mana. Oh, no. I am not going to let you mill my deck away. He's going to spend Seal Away on the Merfolk Trickster. Okay. Interesting. I don't see what his win condition is. He's got a fantastic draw mechanic. I don't see what his win condition is here. I feel like I have to wait. He's going to try to cast something. Yeah, it does stink that he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands, and I have 4. Not complaining. Just saying. No, you can have your opt. Yeah, his whole purpose, I think he's going to try to mill my deck, is really what he's going to try for, and I'm not going to let him get Psychic Corrosion off. Yeah, so that's a whole mechanic now. Now we get it together. Search for his Kanta. Yeah, no, he's really trying to get that draw mechanic so he can mill my deck down. Hey, mana, it's a thing. Still not enough. I need to be able to hold up. I need 1 more mana. Because I need to be able to cast the Djinn and then counter whatever it is he tries to do to kill it. Okay, so he flipped as Kanta. At this juncture, he's just going to mill himself, which should be hysterical. Another search for Kanta. I'm not... Your entire win condition is to mill me, and I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to try 1. He's probably going to seal away it, or Cleansing Nova, or... I'm just going to hit him with 1 creature at a time. Take my time. He is gaining 2 life a turn, but... he's also down to 24 cards. So that's what I'm going to be watching here. No, sir. He's gonna gain life, draw cards. Now he got me. He got me with the last one. How many mana? 1, 2, 3. He's only got 3 mana untapped. Alright, since I don't have any more counters, I'm just going to go for broke here. He's going to seal away, or he's going to do something crazy. Or he's just going to take the damage. Works for me. So he's going to gain 2 life here, he's going to get 10. So unless something crazy happens, he's probably going to Cleansing Nova. Which is why I'm kind of hanging on to... And that's fine. At least it's not 4. Oh, there's my Curious Obsession. I needed that. Boo. Boo, mill deck. Boo. It's the reason why nobody likes you. Another sleep. Doesn't matter. He doesn't have any creatures. Island. Doesn't matter. 18 cards to my 33. Cleansing Nova. Who didn't see that coming? Oh, come on. Can I have my turn now? Cool. At least I've got counters in my hand. I'll just wait. Because he is going to try to get down that 4th Cleansing Nova. He's got how many in there now? I have... Search for Kanta. 18 to 32. Dawn of Hope. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Sleep, doesn't matter, he never has creatures. Although the Dawn of Hope's an interesting twist on that. No, sir. So I'm not gonna lie, he is milling me down. But the more he draws... At this point, life doesn't matter. Is it 14 cards in my 26? I think I may have... I'll opt. I need something here. Chart of course, sure, let's keep that drawing cards. I have no counters in my hand, unfortunately. Drop the island. Let's see how many times he draws cards now. So he draws one, is it? Wasn't he at 12 before? Could have used that Wizard's Retort. He's definitely getting ahead of me on the draw. This is why no one likes mill decks, by the way. $16 cards left. There's an island. Alright, I need to cast something. I need to get stuff out. Not that I suspect that that's going to live for very long. I really, really, really wish I can get that off the board. If you're lucky enough to counter all of the mill that they have, their deck they just deck themselves. Now, unfortunately, I missed that last one. He does only have 10 left, though. Every time he draws a card, I lose one. And he's down to single digits. So I am ahead in the race, 11 to 9. Life honestly doesn't matter at this point. He's got 9 cards, I've got 11. The trick is when he starts multiplying this, he gets more and more, he's going to deck himself. I'm actually not going to cast Curious Obsession on him because I don't want to draw any more cards. Is that crazy? No, sir. You are denied, my friend. Yes, I'm aware that you're gaining more life. You're gonna... He's still hexproof. Oh, he did it before. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I actually don't care. You have 9 cards, I have 10. And since all of his stuff is based on removal, he's got cards in... Oh, he got Psychic Corrosion. Too bad, I've got to cancel. And I won't let that happen. 8 to 10. It's getting close. Oh, no, sir. So I've countered 3 of his 4. He has 7 cards in his hands. I have 8. Hand, deck, library. Okay. 6 to 6. How does he have... It should be a 1-to-1 ratio. Oh, it's 2, isn't it? That's what it is. That's where he's going to get me. He's going to sacrifice the last one. He's going to win. So if I would have been able to have countered the only other Psychic Corrosion that came out, that was my misplay. When I knew it was this deck, I should have held my count. I don't think I got enough. I don't know that that's fair to blame it on me. I think I may have messed that one up on my own, though. So yeah, he is going to win the game with only 1 Psychic Corrosion in play. This is the reason why I put more counters in this deck than anything else. Than the standard build is for this reason. I just let 1 slip by. When 1 slipped by, he's down to 1 card in his library. Look how close the game got. 1 card. He had 1 card left in his library. So, the lesson this teaches you is that this deck is obviously one that you need to take your time with. You need to hold on to those counter spells and have them at the right spot. The minute that I realized what deck this was, I should have... Well, I don't know that I could have helped it. I keep thinking back on that game, and I'll watch it later, but I'm pretty sure that I did not get a counter spells early game, which is how that slipped by. So, in any case, that is Mono Blue Tempo. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. It really does help the channel, and I do really appreciate it. I am going to enter this into the competitive challenge, which is going to be the next video that we have, where we actually go into the competitive decks and try playing it there as opposed to the ladder matches. I am going to make a handful of tweaks to the deck just to make it a little bit more competitive. Add a couple more uncommons that weren't necessarily in this one. Mostly more counter spells. Shh, don't tell anyone. So I hope you enjoyed. If you are so inclined, of course, I do have a Patreon. That is patreon.com/oldguygaming MTGA, and we will see you again in the next video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the arena.